This is the plaintiff, Noreen Davis Carter. She says she went to church early one Sunday morning and parked her car in the lot across the street from the church parking lot because the church's lot was full. All the businesses were closed when she parked, and when she returned from worship, her car was gone. The defendant charged her double the going rate, which is illegal. She has all the evidence she needs, and God will see to it that she's reimbursed in this court for the $1,000 she's now out. This is the defendant, Edward Folk. He says the plaintiff illegally parked. There are signs stating no parking, and since she parked there on a weekend, she was charged double because he had to get someone to open up the tow yard for her to get her car on a Sunday. He follows the letter of the law, and he's sorry, but not even God can help this lady today. He's accused of preying on a parker.
All parties, please raise your right hand. Be seated. Come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas. Noreen Davis Carter, you are suing B&M Towing Incorporated, represented here by Mr. Folk, for $1,000, $250 that you want reimbursed for the cost that you paid them for a tow, $50 for the Uber ride to go to their lot to get it, and $700 to punish them. All right, what's going on?
Yeah, I was late for church that Sunday morning.
You were what?
And late for church.
Late to church?
Yes. And I decided to park my car in the parking lot opposite to the church because since I was late, I was not going to be able to find a parking space on the premises, in or around the premises. When I got out of church at 9:30...
Wait, where did you park your car?
In the parking lot. Shopping parking lot opposite to the
where
church.
You're not allowed to park your car.
Right.
Okay.
When I got out of church at 9:30, I went to the spot. My car was not there. I looked around thinking that maybe I mistakenly parked it, elsewhere. And it just was not there. I saw another gentleman standing, talking on the phone. And I asked him if he was also looking for his car, and he said yes. And he pointed to the sign, which was, close to the pavement with B&M name on it.
Okay.
I immediately called my daughter so that she can send an Uber for me. But before that, I called his place of business. He or someone else answered the phone, told me, yes, they do have my car, and it's $250 cash. I hung up, called my daughter so that I can get an Uber ride. When I got there by the Uber, there were other parishioners.
So did you take an Uber home or did you take an Uber there?
I took an Uber home.
And then you took another Uber there?
That's right. When I got there to his place of business, there was another customer in front of me, and I recognized that that person was also in church. Then there was myself and some other person behind me. So we all had our cars parked there, and they towed our cars.
Right.
When it came to my turn, he already told me it was $250. And I needed to get my car. It was Labor Day weekend, so I paid the $250.
Right.
But I had a few words for him, asking him.
Like what? What'd you say to him?
I told him, why doesn't he go and find some other business, to harass the people? Because these are people in church who can't find a parking spot.
But is there, the problem is that there's no exception to parking illegally when you're attending church. It's you either park illegally or you don't park illegally.
I understand that. My big thing with him is the fact that he told me when I asked him why $250, because the sign there said it was $125. He told me it was after hours. And I said to him, how could it be after hours? You towed my car. I called you. You told me to bring $250 cash, and here I am. There's no after hours.
Oh, it was a Sunday, right?
Yes.
All right, so let me ask you, Mr. Folk, a couple of questions. Why is the tow $250 as opposed to the 100 and something that the law prescribes when it's a tow on private property?
The law that is given is within an hour of being towed, it's 125 plus tax.
Show me the law, because that's not what I'm looking at. I'm looking at something that says that you're capped at a certain rate.
I am capped at a certain rate.
What's the rate?
125 plus tax.
Okay, so why then are you charging double that?
But that's 125 plus tax.
Show me what you're saying, because
During-
I don't see 125 per tax if it's within 20 minutes. I don't see that.
You might
I
have
just
it there.
see that you're capped. I don't see anything else in the law. So I'm trying to figure out where you're getting that from.
Well,
that gives you-
the signs that are posted in New York
I don't
City.
care what you say. I care what the law says. I got to make sure you didn't overcharge. So I'm asking you, show me where the ordinance allows you to charge more than that in New York City, because I'm looking at how you're limited and what it says you're limited to.
During normal business hours.
Again, I have to see less flapping gum and more you pointing to stuff, because I've heard you say that. I read that you said that in your answer complaint. I cannot find that in the law. I cannot find the normal business hours thing. I cannot find the, in the first hour thing. I can't find any of the things that are causing you to double the tow fee. This is the, here, I'm going to show, I'll hand it to you.
Yeah.
It's this that says what you can charge. So if I've missed it, I've missed it. I
Yep.
just would take a second and take a look at it and tell me if you see any authority for what you charged. And while you're looking, let me ask you, you parked illegally.
Yes.
So why are you suing for your tow fee back and the charges to go get your, I mean, you are looking at me right in the eye and telling me, yeah, I parked illegally, but what, I'm a church-going woman, so I shouldn't have to pay?
No, Your Honor. If he had charged me just the $125, I wouldn't be here. But because he charged...
But you're not suing him for just $125 extra that he charged you. You're suing him for everything.
Damages. He charged myself and the other 4 people who were there the same price, $250 cash. And so he needs, that's where my punitive damages came in.
And, but then why are you suing for $250 when you know at least $125 is what you should have paid?
Well, I think he should be punished because, if he had done the right thing to begin with, we wouldn't be here.
Not very merciful at your church, are they?
No.
What did the other folks from church do? Did they just pay their $250 and go on, or are any of them suing also?
I don't know whether
They're not
should,
close to-
because we were all dressed.
But you understand you can't park there.
Yes.
And according to you, the reason that people park there, I'm sorry, Mr. Folk, according to you, the reason people park there is because they don't want to get stuck in the traffic jam getting out of the congregation.
No.
No?
People park there because it's a huge church. It's a 5,000
How many?
church.
Right, but how many parking spaces do you have
I
there?
don't know how many.
Lot,
but
right?
I know it's not enough to accommodate everyone.
Okay. Were you able to find any authority for what you were saying?
I didn't. But these signs are approved by New York City Department of Consumer Affairs, who we're regulated by. See, there's a thin line between the penal law.
There's no thin line. That's the law that.
There's two different. It's a thin line. It's
All
like a
right,
two-way
let me
street.
see the pictures that you wanted me to look at on your sign or something like that. That's
Okay.
what you said you wanted me to see.
Okay, well,
right?
this is a sign that's in the office. This is the signs that
The
are
signs
on
in the
property.
office are irrelevant. The signs in the property is what I want.
Okay, and this is, before she enters the place of business, it tells you to redeem your car on after hours. It's by appointment only. And, because we're not there, we're not open.
Okay, so this is a sign that says towing fees, $125 plus tax plus surcharge. Is this what you meant by this sign is approved by the city of New York? You're on thin ice here. You're just completely.
Absolutely.
I showed you the law, right? So you know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about, right? And then your sign actually says $125 plus tax. That's what you're allowed to charge. So tell me then, if you're double charging these nice church-going folks who apparently don't want to be limited in where they park because they're doing God's work, if you're overcharging them, that's blatantly flying in violation of the law is kind of why punitive damages exist. So why shouldn't you be penalized and charge punitive damages here? Why shouldn't the tow money go back to her pocket?
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. So suppose you need to park somewhere. There's this a parking lot that says no parking, but it's closed, so nobody's there. Can you still be towed?
Yeah, you can tow.
They can still tow you.
Yes.
But isn't it kind of no harm, no foul if there's no cars around there that are going to be put out?
I'd like to think so.
So can you be towed?
Yes, you can.
Okay, and?
Yeah, I mean, it's the parking lot's probably private property, and it says no parking. I wouldn't challenge it.
Fair enough. I think you guys are all smart going inside the courtroom.
In the eyes of the city of the law, and we've been doing this for a very long time with this after-hours consensual release. So when the person calls on non-business hours, the office is closed.
Okay.
We have to pay somebody.
You've said that already.
Yes.
I understand why you want to charge more. You are limited by what the statute says, are you not?
During normal business hours.
Okay, does the statute say anything about you getting to charge double outside of normal business hours? Does the statute say the words normal business hours? Or does the statute just cap you at $125 plus tax? You read it, I gave it to you. What does it say?
Yeah, that's what it says.
All right, so that's the law. It's not what you guys put on a sign. It's not what you've been doing and getting away with. It's what it says there. So, I'm struggling with what the right thing to do is, because Ms. Carter here, point blank tells me that she parked illegally and that you should be doing something else with your time than towing people who are at church.
Your Honor?
Which there's no, do you hear me talking?
Yes, I'm sorry.
Which, really, there's no church attendee exception to, like, you're a mere mortal like I am.
Your Honor, I understand that.
So
but
now,
my point...
Ms. Carter has very cleverly argued to me, and it's worth considering, that how many people do you do this to and get away with?
Exactly.
That's the point of punitive damages. That is the complete point of punitive damages. Do you have your Uber receipts?
Yes.
I see it your way. I don't see it quite to the amount of money that you see it, but I do see it your way. I'm going to order the excess $125 that you were charged returned to you. I am also going to assess punitive damages in the amount of $125 plus the $45.53 in Uber that you paid, which means that you get back $341.06 that the fiasco cost you. Now, I need you to listen to me, Ms. Carter. You don't have a right to park there. I'm doing this exactly for the reason that you argued, which I think you argued well, okay? Because I want to send a message that you can't exceed what the law allows you to do. And there's too many people that ended up just eating that double charge, and that's wrong. That's exactly why God invented punitive damages, okay? But you can't park there. Don't park there. You're going to get towed again. Don't park there. Got it?
I will
Don't
not.
Park there.
Yes.
God understands.
I understand.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. If you're going to be late to church, you're going to be late to church. Don't be late to church. Or you either park in that massive parking lot that your church provides for you, or you go to church at a later hour that day. All right?
Got it.
Verdict for the plaintiff.
Thank you.
Well, in a pretty fascinating case, the plaintiff has prevailed. She's getting some $300 back. You know, you'd said before coming to court, not even God could help her today in court. I think he did.
Yeah, I guess prayers do work. Just tell everyone,
Yeah, well, what's your reaction to the judge's reading of the law?
A little
You
upset.
had no comeback to her.
The law, there's a thin line in New York City where you have your police department laws and your penal codes, and then you have your Department of Consumer Affairs laws and penal codes, which sometimes crisscross each other and coincide.
The point is, you've obviously been doing something illegally for a long time and getting away with it.
That was somebody's point. The judge, this judge's point, but in other judges' opinions, it's not. So.
But how many times do you get brought to court over this issue? Ever?
Many times.
Because you're charging double on Sundays, after hours.
Yep, after hours. Not only Sundays.
And you've prevailed in other courts?
Prevailed.
Well, this was not your day in the People's Court.
It was not. It was in God's hands today.
Okay. Well, God won. Okay.
He did.
Sorry about that. Thank you very much. All right, Ms. Carter. Two things. Number one, you're not going to park there again, right?
No, definitely not.
And number two, you're feeling good you came to court, right?
Very, feeling very good
Okay.
that I won my case.
Okay, well, the judge congratulated you.
Yes.
So, good for
Thank you.
What are you going to tell everybody else that they parked in there?
Not to park there, but I also wanted to send a message to him that he can't overcharge.
Well, I
That
think you
was the
did.
point.
I think you did.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Okay. Fascinating case, Harvey. What do you think about this one?
So, look, there is one thing you can do, that if you really need to park somewhere and it is private property, go inside the business that owns or uses the parking lot and offer them $5 and say, look, let me park here for 30 minutes. Can you do that? And then make sure you get that recorded and you can get away with it.